Okay, so welcome to the 1200 matchup um, analysis video. Let's take a look at the players. Okay, so we have this guy who Chinese player that's 42-2, which is pretty darn impressive. Lost to Sonya the Superior and the Fang, it looks like, so good players to lose to for sure. And their opponent is Edgar XD. I forgot to mention the last guy was like 12 something. Edgar XD is been around for a while. I think maybe only like 2 years or so, but climbs pretty quickly. And Edgar is at about 200 games played, 1283 rating. Okay, so here we have a map that I haven't played in like 2 years. Actually, more than that, like 3 years. But we played it in Fog High Funds, so yeah, it was a tournament match. It was me versus Super Potato, and that was like one of the crazier matches that I played. I think I picked Grim into Sammy or something. Really fun game. So yeah, but this is Edgar into this guy, something fun. Um, so it's Kendall into Grit. So this map is really weird. I mean, faraway airports that are hard to get, plus normal airports that are easier to get. You can spam double B copter. You can build battleships. You can build carriers. Since there's two ports, you can build subs and cruisers and black boats. It's just a really weird map. So Grit here, obviously his battleship's really good, and then his artillery spam in the center can choke up well enough once you get enough of them. So yeah, Grit, solid pick here, just because it's a weird map. And then Kendall, I mean, there are these center contested cities, and she can push things off of ports by using CO power, I suppose, but it's not that strong, I think. Um, it's high funds, so I guess she also gets the ultra. Well, she gets a bit of a city boost from her super CO power, but that's based on number of cities, and here there aren't that many. So yeah, so let's see what happens in this game. So Edgar, let me just point this out. So Edgar going for the red city first. That's usually the right thing to do because it's almost always the right thing to do, I think, because it's built there so that the income differential is not favored towards one side or the other too hard, and so you're kind of meant to capture that way. If you don't, you're kind of giving up free income. So. Okay, so Edgar XD actually goes pretty early towards the airport capture route. And then a pretty early port as well. It's going to be faster than it's going to be faster than Edgar XD's port. So already medium tank first into artillery, which is pretty nice. But the medium tank deals with the tanks pretty well, and then against enemy medium tanks, they'll have artillery support, so that's good. Okay, free medium tank hit, that's nice. Okay, so this is a nice idea. Going like for a big death ball here, battleship, and then tons of artillery. Skipping a build here, not a big deal. necessarily, because the battle pushing up the battleship early is kind of the point of this move. So yeah, the battleship definitely very strong. Doesn't quite cover this port square. So Edgar can respond immediately with a sub. You can do sub, move cruiser, move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then battleship here. I don't know. I think that actually like cruiser there may be a strat you can do with like building an early cruiser and then like solidifying your position. Otherwise, you could retreat the battleship one square and build the cruiser, and then you're good. This map used to have the port over here, I think. I don't think that there was this bay area behind the port. And that's actually what the Chinese player does. He brings the battleship back, and then cruisers up, and there's no way that sub is breaking through. Okay, and so this is like the third time now, or at least the second time, that Edgar has suicided a tank to interrupt a capture by one turn. I think that's a little sketchy, but you have to do something against grit, so I think it's better to attack an artillery if you can. Oh, another thing to point out, this is 2 base. Generally, Grit struggles in 2 base, so maybe that's why he is unbanned here, but it's pretty narrow across the board, so 2 base doesn't restrict him too much. Okay, another attack to take out an infantry. He's doubling down on the idea that he wants to deny income. However, it just means another dead tank. And although there are a number of injured infantry for Grit, seems to be in okay shape. Spamming B-copters against Grit, another good idea. It forces out anti-air instead of artillery. Okay, not sure why that cruiser moves forward, because now the tank can... kill the... Yeah, okay, very confused about that. Yeah, he just picks up a free tank for artillery trade, which you're going to take. Here comes snipe attack, takes out 2 more tanks. And another battleship down here, which is totally brutal. Okay, Edgar XD responds with another sub. Has B-copters and bombers on the way. He's been spamming out of this airport, which is a good idea. I wonder if he could have captured this airport earlier and then do double B-copter spam into Grit. Seems like a solid game plan. Like double B-copter, double tank. Just seems like you'd get more vehicles out that way. Oh, and actually, there's a nice move here by the Chinese player. So he moved out here to check this square and this square. And now he moves the cruiser out into the center to check for, probably passes through this square to check every other square. And then once he realizes that this area is clear, moves the battleship forward to lock this port, which hurts a lot. I think here Edgar XD actually resigns. Yeah. So the idea here is Edgar XD has his port locked. He has no way of taking out this cruiser, so his sub is just sitting there. his saving grace is this extra airport. So like that's a plus that he has going towards him. Although Grit can also respond with more fighters. So, but I think that like the idea of taking Grit to the air is probably a good one. Maybe if Edgar had captured this airport faster, he could have done double V copter bammer, double V copter bomber spam, um, and then and then sort of taking Grit into the air where you can fight fighters with fighters, and Grit isn't spamming artillery as much. So I don't know, just an idea. But yeah, well played to both players. It's really fun to see like a Grit that actually works because there's a lot of Grits that try to make stuff work and it doesn't work. So seeing a Grit actually succeed is a nice sight.